House Bill 2, known as Alabama's Texting and Driving Law, went into effect August 1st of 2012.
Hello, my name is Kaylee Dickey, and I'm here with Ron Chastain to talk with him about texting and driving. Can you please state your position, Ron?
I'm a lieutenant with the Blount County Sheriff's Office.
How do you enforce the texting while driving law?
Well, the texting while driving law is very hard to enforce with the current laws the way they're in position. We can see somebody with their phone, but since everybody now knows we're looking for that, they hold their phone down between their lap or under their steering wheel, which causes them to not pay attention to the road and actually cause an accident.
Do you personally text while you drive?
I have. Can't say I have not because that'd be lying, and I have text while driving. Of course, in my profession as to what I've got computers, I've got radar, I've got a county radio, I've got a Southern Link, I've got so many things on my shoulder and on my arm and everywhere else that I can get distracted pretty easy, but you got to pay attention.
Are there more distracted driving incidents or texting and driving incidents?
The vehicle I drive is an unmarked Tahoe. Has no markings on it. It's got a tag on the front. It's got a star on it. People do not pay attention to me as they do with vehicles with markings on them. I'm driving down the highway. I see people putting on makeup, looking in the mirror, reading the newspaper, eating their lunch, everything else. So texting is a problem. Cell phones are a problem. The more technology that you have, the worse it's going to be because everybody wants to have the newest, up-to-date, everything they've got. And there's a lot of distractions out there besides that because you've got people who don't know how to drive, people who can't drive, and then you've got all this added to it.
What is your opinion of the texting and driving law?
The current texting and driving law pretty much has officers restricted as to what we can do. If we pull someone over and speak to them about texting while driving, even though we see them texting and we know that's what they're doing, we can write the ticket, but we're going to have to subpoena the records and everything else for court purposes to show that they were texting at that time. So it's a long drawn out process for us, which it's due process, and don't get me wrong. We don't want to infringe on your civil rights because that's what they're there for.
Right.
I wish the law was stricter. I wish that if you were caught texting while driving, since we have to go through the hardest process we do to get the answers that we have to have through subpoenas and all the extra work we have to put into a texting while driving ticket, I think that, fine should be $500.
Yeah, if it was bigger, maybe people wouldn't do it so much.
Well, it's not a matter of the money. It's a matter of people worrying about having to pay the money so they won't do it.
How many tickets have you given to people who have been texting and driving?
Personally, myself, none. I checked the records for Blount County, and when you contacted me about doing this, since this law has went into effect, we have wrote a total of 9.
Wow, that's really not a lot at all. Like for this law, I would think it'd be bigger. You see a lot of campaigns for the.
Right, but like I said, the problem we're running into is it's more of a hassle for the officers because we can see you texting, we visually see you texting, we pull you over, write you a citation for it. Then we have to go through the process of subpoenaing your phone records, getting everything that was going on at that particular time. Some phone companies cooperate, some don't. What I'm saying, we won't argue on the side of the road. If we stop you for that, I know here in Blount County, we pull you over for that, there's not going to be an argument or disagreement on the side of the road. We're going to tell you this is your ticket, this is your court date.
Later.
You can talk to a judge. We'll discuss to a judge. Of course, when you come to court for that ticket, just like Shelby, Chilton, all the surrounding counties around Jefferson, everywhere else, when it comes time for court, those officers are going to walk in with a stack of paperwork about that thick, and they're going to be going, well, what is that? If you don't have an attorney, be prepared. They're fixed to show you your phone records, and they're going to say, I stopped the individual at 15:23, which is 3:23 regular time, p.m. They're going to pull your phone records at 15:23. Verizon shows they were sending 15 texts in this amount of time. I stopped them for texting while driving, issued them a citation. Your Honor, they were texting. You have no defense.
So could the law be better?
If with the technology we have it today, it would be great if there was some way. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't want your phones not working in a vehicle because 90% of the public now has done with home phones. You have cell phones. That's your primary function to contact someone with.
Right.
So with that being said, there's got to be some technology out there to where when you get into a vehicle, it has to be hands-free.
Mm-hmm.
That you could not be able to text. They can shut, when you get into a vehicle, there's something in the vehicle that automatically shuts your texting function down. And that would save a lot of lives.
Yeah, so you're not so distracted trying to look at something. How many accidents have you seen that involve texting and driving?
several that we have been able to find out later while the texting was going on. Very seldomly does anybody ever own up to that, hey, I was texting, that's what happened. They will never tell you they were texting while driving. For some reason, they think that's a really bad thing. To tell them that's what happened in the accident, but that helps us to get statistics, because statistics help us to show improvement to help the current problem, so we lose less people on the highways.
We're about to take a look in Lieutenant Ron Chastain's Sheriff's Department Tahoe and all the technology in there. Can you describe what's in there?
We have your laptop computer, which has GPS technology. We have the card scanner for your driver's license. There's a printer back here to print your tickets with. We have a police radio. We have the siren up here. We have all the lights that makes them work. The front radar, which is a stalker, front and rear radar. The controller that makes it all work. So you have all this. I have a Southern Link. I have a CB in here. I have my cell phone. There's a lot of technology that you can get caught up in, and that's what we're talking about. We have to focus so much on our driving and what we do that if we have to text somebody, that we pull over and try to do it. And I joke with people all the time. They'll say, you know, texting while driving is dangerous. I send emails. I mean, if you're looking at a computer, send emails, it's a lot worse than texting while driving. But
Yeah.
I do that as a joke. However, texting while driving is not a joke, and we lose a lot of people that way too, especially the younger generation, and that's what's troubling about it.
Using the strengths-based perspective, this law is ineffective because it blames the drivers and doesn't take into consideration the problem texting while driving.
If the text is that important, find a spot, pull over, text somebody.
Yeah.
When you get through your conversation, drive on. I have the hardest trouble now with myself personally. If you're going to sit there and text somebody for 30 minutes, call them.
Mm-hmm.
Tell them what you've got to say, what you want to say. Conversation's over, hang up, it's over.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it's the easy way to do it.
Yeah. Because their life is more important than that one little text.
That's correct. Very correct.
Go to itcanwait.com and take the It Can Wait pledge not to text and drive. This site also contains videos on the issue of texting and driving, ways to get involved, campaigns of the It Can Wait movement, and stories about why people are taking the It Can Wait pledge.
Don't